The Farm Journal Legacy Project presents Leave a Legacy. And now, your host, Kevin Spafford.
Welcome to Leave a Legacy. We're coming to you today from Winifred, Montana, where the big sky meets the northern plains. Ranching operations are a combination of resources, methods, capabilities, and desires. Ranch families are a mix of generations, interests, and activities. Marshaling the two, ranching and families, to create something that will live on is what succession is all about. From the front porch of this ranch, you can see 7 different mountain ranges. Clinton Griffiths is going to introduce us to the Bold family.
Work on a farm.
We just want to make it up to the corner up here and then turn around.
Okay, I'd say it's on.
Is never done. Neither is work on a ranch. And if you're the Bold family that does both, life stays pretty busy.
Once you get tired of doing something, it's just on to the next. Get tired of farming, it's on to cows. Start getting tired of cows, it's on to hauling wheat. Wheat in the spring. It's always just a constant rotation.
23-year-old Spencer Bold works for his parents across their 20,000-acre farm and ranch near Winifred, Montana.
We're in dryland grain, wheat and barley, not much malt barley, but feed barley and beef cattle.
Robert and his wife Annette bought this place back in 1979 when the right opportunity allowed them to give up teaching careers and return to the family business, even though it wasn't the family homestead.
Sure, you have the interest of wanting to do it and get back into it and go back to your roots, but a lot of times you got to look for an entrance opportunity in order to get in.
The hottest and dustiest part of the job, always.
No air conditioning.
We got a fan.
And when they're not in college, the family's twin daughters know it's a hands-on operation.
Well, during the summer, like I said, we do hang, so Alex and I get to run the swather, Spencer, the baler. So we help out with that, and then harvest time comes.
We're doing what? 51 bushel right now.
As with any job, long days can lead to short exchanges between the boss and his best hand.
It'll bail. It'll bail. Dad and I get along really well when we're not working together.
The truth of the matter is, it would be hard to get along without each other. Robert and Annette know their efforts are merely clearing the road for the next generation.
When you're taking care of the land and all that stuff, it's a part of you. It's you. It's not property. It's you. It's your home and things like that. And you figure out ways of making things better, not only for yourself but also for the generations yet to come.
Constantly looking for new ways to improve their operations, their technology, and their land, the Bolds were some of the earliest adopters of no-till practices in the state of Montana.
If he thinks a program is going to work, we're not afraid to try it, and like the no-till farming, we were kind of one of the first ones in the area. We learned about it and we tried to adapt it for our area. And so you can't be afraid to try.
A mindset that soon found its way to cattle country.
When we came here, saline seep was a big issue. And we can take you to acres that were snow white. This time of the year, when the wind would blow, July and August would be just like a blizzard.
That high salt content kept grass from growing. Robert began looking for alternative options, seeking out salt-tolerant forages capable of growing in high salinity conditions. Today, those same pastures are home to a sea of grass, and cattle are turning once barren plains into pounds of protein. Other restoration efforts is catching the eye of the industry. The Bold Ranch has been honored for its environmental stewardship.
We're just here for a short time. We're just caretakers anyway, so try to make it better, if not just for us, but hopefully for the kids. They'll see what we've done, and they continue to do the same things. They're just as picky as we are.
They are old school, but they're willing to try new things.
Life lessons still being taught as the Bold Ranch pursues non-traditional markets like hormone-free beef.
Last 4 or 5 years, we've been raising NHTC cattle, which is no hormone transplant, all for export to the European Union. And 20 years ago, I mean, that wasn't even a topic.
So what will the next 20 bring? It's a question with few real answers.
20 years ago, who heard about biotech in agriculture? Who heard about GPS in agriculture 20 years ago? So if you asked that same question 20 years ago, we couldn't give you an answer that we use today.
And for those still hoping to continue that legacy,
This part right here, I love harvest. Most stressful, but it's my most favorite.
the Bold family looks to be well represented.
You're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, get your own space, your own time. It's just nice to have.
It's in your blood.
Yeah.
For Leave a Legacy, I'm Clinton Griffiths reporting.
They started as teachers. Then in 1979, fate took them on a different path. Today, their operation is 20,000 acres, 350 mother cows, dryland farming, and range. Up next, I'll visit with Robert and Annette about the challenges and opportunities in managing the ranch, raising a family, and preparing for the future.
Pioneer Hybrid proudly continues its legacy of supporting America's farm families by sponsoring the Farm Journal Legacy Project.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. DuPont Pioneer proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
More often than not, the best solutions are the simple ones. When it comes to corn refuge, simple is better. Simple is here. DuPont Pioneer revolutionized simple with the broadest lineup of refuge management products. Better choices. Make it simple. Refuge simplified by DuPont Pioneer.
It's tough out here. But so are Optimum Aquamax corn hybrids from DuPont Pioneer. Performance and productivity under drought stress. Huh. Hot enough for you? Optimum Aquamax hybrids deliver, rain or shine. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Simply Better Forage. Advanced agronomic and nutritional expertise. More efficient rations through industry-leading corn silage hybrids, alfalfa varieties, and inoculants. It's what you need to get more from your fields, and ultimately, more from your cows. That's Simply Better Forage. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Dad's up right with the sun, usually down with it. When Dad's not here, I kind of keep everything going mechanical-wise, you know, keep all the bodies in motion, make sure no one gets out of a line.
During harvest, sometimes we were harvesting until 11:30 at night, and this was after starting early in the morning, so it's a full day process.
Robert and Annette are involved equally in the operation, and most decisions include input from their 3 children. I asked them about the risks and rewards of making decisions on a family basis. You have a succession intention. How do we prepare the next generation to take over?
Oh, they work with you 24/7, I think. And they pick up what you appreciate doing and your enthusiasm. And sure, maybe not everybody, maybe not all of them are cut out to be farmers or ranchers, but if that interest is there, they will pick it up. They'll stay with you.
In a lot of cases, people are no different than wildlife. They have called imprinting, where the young learn from the old, and a lot of that is evident in farming and ranching, not only in the U.S., but a lot of other places in the world as well.
That's where they get the kind of the lead. How should they prepare, or how should that next generation, if it's not your kids, prepare professionally?
Oh, I think they need to take in as many outside opportunities that are out there. For example, reading, like we had discussed earlier, or taking in any of the conventions or trade shows, or whatever is available for them. Any educational opportunity is the best thing they could do.
Yeah, you've always got to continue to educate yourself every day. It's just an ongoing, like a 8mm movie projector. It's always ongoing. There's no still photos. So you got to, you know, educate yourself all the time, one way or another.
Is dad or mom the best mentor for our own kids?
Try to
Or should they have outside influences that they can talk to about concerns about farming and ranching?
Well, I think mom and dad are the backbone, or the, you know, the initial source. But they should never turn down any outside opportunities. You learn so much from the outside, not just our little, you know, maybe narrow-minded situation or whatever we may think. They'll develop more from other people as well.
And that's true, you know. A lot of times you're teaching things, especially in the worlds of applied sciences or applied technology, but you only teach what you know, and you can never teach 100% of what you know because you lose so much of it in the thought process, speaking process, writing process, things like that. So, yeah, I mean.
How important is, I'll call, the extended team in a ranch? And by that I mean some of your suppliers of different things, or outside consultants, or how important is that extended team? Beyond your employees and your family.
Well, it's important because, you know, they bring a lot of things to the table that may be applicable to you. They may bring things to you that are not applicable to you. And you've got to make that decision, make that trial, make that effort in order to see if it is or is not. So they're very important, especially on the technology side. Technology is really what's driving a lot of this, and that's being driven by demand.
They're obviously comfortable working closely as a family. When we come back, I'll visit with Spencer, Reagan, and Alexandra about their roles in this family operation.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. DuPont Pioneer proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
More often than not, the best solutions are the simple ones. When it comes to corn refuge, simple is better. Simple is here. DuPont Pioneer revolutionized simple with the broadest lineup of refuge management products. Better choices. Make it simple. Refuge Simplified by DuPont Pioneer.
It's tough out here. But so are Optimum Aquamax corn hybrids from DuPont Pioneer. Performance and productivity under drought stress. Hot enough for you? Optimum Aquamax hybrids deliver, rain or shine. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Simply Better Forage. Advanced agronomic and nutritional expertise. More efficient rations through industry-leading corn silage hybrids, alfalfa varieties, and inoculants. It's what you need to get more from your fields, and ultimately, more from your cows. That's Simply Better Forage. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Three separate individuals, competing interests, and dissimilar ideas. Sounds like a case ripe for sibling rivalry. So how do they do it? How do they put aside their differences and work together here on the Bold Ranch? I'll start right there when I sit down with this next generation of Bolds. Have you had conversations with your parents about succession, about the next generation or transitioning the operation?
Yeah. Dad's always told us about the past and what they used to do. And we've talked about the future and what's going to happen.
What is going to happen?
Well, we've actually started leasing some of the land under his name and put it under ours. So now it is slowly transgressing into our name. And then we hope to keep running it somehow.
So you're all preparing for that, or preparing for that role eventually. How does the kind of the attitude, I'll call it the attitude, a stewardship, how does that weigh into that? You know, your folks really have it with the land. They've obviously passed it to you. How does that weigh into, as you look long term?
We hope to keep it the same way, because this is the only way we can make our money and everything. We have to keep it up and keep it better than what it was originally.
Just keep growing on it, keep working on it.
Keep it in good conditions, otherwise it'll all fall apart.
How do you keep it in good condition? Be specific. What do you do?
Well, you got to respect the land. Got to treat it the way you want it to treat you in the return.
We do some no-till farming, and we'll rotate crops and the cattle so the grass doesn't get too short on cattle grazing and everything like that.
As well as a different breed of crops that work with the soil content, just so the saline seep doesn't get out of control.
Because it could again, right? If
very
we abused
easily.
it.
Keep the weeds down, you know. Crops are better without the weeds, so Dad's always out there spraying, you know, just keeping it in good condition.
So being environmentally conscious is critical to the long-term health of the operation, but your return as farmers, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I mean, it's like this abuse. We're going to have a huge problem and not get the production off the...
Right.
You abuse it, it'll abuse you.
What do you see 20 years from now? Tell me what Bold Ranch is going to look like 20 years from now.
Hopefully as good of shape, if not better than what it is now even, because there's always room for improvement.
Is it going to grow?
Oh yeah, there will be expansion.
Tell me about that. What do you see?
Well, a bunch of the farmers farming right now in the community are getting up there in age. Some of them don't have any kids, so they're hoping they'll lease out some land.
So there's going to be opportunity if we're ready to accept the...
Well, there's lots of opportunity every day.
Is agriculture a good career?
I think so. Everyone needs it all the time, and I don't know, I just like helping the people and growing food for everybody.
It's the only career I know.
It's the only career you know. Out of choice.
Out of choice.
Did your parents instill that? Did the environment instill that, or other people that you know?
Kind of a combination. Our parents brought us along, you know. As they worked, they kind of just showed us along, and then we grew to appreciate that, and then learned, oh, you know, the environment, that's a pretty cool place to be out, and then just learned to appreciate everything. Kind of all ties together.
Join us later, where I'll visit with Robert about his role in environmental stewardship. Coming up next, Kevin's Classroom.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. DuPont Pioneer proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
At DuPont Pioneer, we're with you every step of the way. Our accelerated yield technology system combines agronomic and defensive traits with elite genetics. Planted on more acres than any other brand, Pioneer delivers total soybean performance.
It's tough out here. But so are Optimum Aquamax corn hybrids from DuPont Pioneer. Performance and productivity under drought stress. Hot enough for you? Optimum Aquamax hybrids deliver, rain or shine. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Simply better forage. Advanced agronomic and nutritional expertise. More efficient rations through industry-leading corn silage hybrids, alfalfa varieties, and inoculants. It's what you need to get more from your fields, and ultimately, more from your cows. That's simply better forage. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Welcome to Kevin's Classroom. Advice, ideas, and helpful hints to guide you down the succession planning process.
Do you know how to manage a family meeting? Don't let the formality of a family meeting stop you from reaching your succession planning goals. Given the slim probability of success without good communication and the high cost of failure, family meetings are essential to generate results. Be mindful to listen to understand. Drop all preconceived ideas. Define a decision-making process. Agree on a method for dispute resolution. Create meeting agendas. Always end with a scheduled follow-up or next step. No one likes a wasteful meeting, so learning how to manage a meeting, whether it's in the family or business, is a very useful skill to develop.
For more useful tips from Kevin's Classroom, sign up for Legacy Moment, a free weekly email. Visit the Legacy Project page on agweb.com to register.
It's tough out here. But so are Optimum Aquamax corn hybrids from DuPont Pioneer. Performance and productivity under drought stress. Huh. Hot enough for you? Optimum Aquamax hybrids deliver, rain or shine. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
Simply better forage. Advanced agronomic and nutritional expertise. More efficient rations through industry-leading corn silage hybrids, alfalfa varieties, and inoculants. It's what you need to get more from your fields, and ultimately, more from your cows. That's simply better forage. Only from DuPont Pioneer.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. DuPont Pioneer proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
At DuPont Pioneer, we're with you every step of the way. Our accelerated yield technology system combines agronomic and defensive traits with elite genetics. Planted on more acres than any other brand, Pioneer delivers total soybean performance.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Pioneer Hybrid, helping you get the right product on the right acre. Science with service, delivering success.
As if environmental stewardship weren't enough, Robert is committed to professional development, giving back to industry organizations, and mentoring others. Don't let his calm, confident manner fool you. Robert has defined goals, the support of a willing team, and a growing desire to succeed. Let's just start there, Robert. How do you define leadership?
Leadership, you don't determine yourself to be leader. Other people determine, your leadership or your leadership theory or capabilities. It's decided for you by someone else. Whether you accept it or not is a different issue.
How do they decide? How do they know?
I don't know how you know, in a way, but you do. People just kind of see that, just think that, and want to follow you for whatever reason it is, whether it's your theory, whether it's your philosophy, whether it's your personality, or whether it's your ability to communicate and deliver.
We met at Apex.
Yes.
You do professional development, and you attend different things. Tell us a little bit about that. Why do you do that?
Well, a lot of times I come away with more than I leave at those meetings, those conferences, things like that. It's development, you know, no different than biblical days, you know, when they used to follow prophets around and so on like that. How are they determined? But they like the message, they learn from that message and practices that message. And that's what you do when you go to these conferences like you referred to there with Texas A&M's program they've developed over the years. And you go there and you come away with what's being offered on the program. But a lot of times what you do that, you add this little niche here, little niche there, and other people follow you or select you for those particular reasons or reason.
Like your environmental stewardship, which is really a combination of leadership and what you've learned and how you're doing, I think, what here on the ranch better. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the Environmental Stewardship Award, it's given to people that develop and protect the environment, whether it's for wildlife reasons or productive reasons for food and developing. For example, the Environment Stewardship Award is given by NCBA and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and their foundation. And it's based upon beef-oriented and how you go about raising food for that particular segment of the food industry, the beef. And that's how we're chosen there, how you go develop and you range land and nurture it and get it to produce more than it did yesteryear.
So your ranch here is beautiful, but it's not a solo affair. Tell us a little bit about the team, however you define it, that's involved in helping you here.
Well, you have several team players. You have the family end of it, which does a lot of the day-to-day operations and the caretaking and making sure things are done on a husbandly manner and a timely manner. But also you have other teams that come in too. The technology side and the biotech side, they come in. And you also have the economic side that comes in. Are you rewarded or not rewarded for a particular effort or a particular segment of that particular industry? So you have a lot of outside forces that enter into a day-to-day operation.
Robert said if you've done a good job, you've got something to leave the next generation. A good job? How about growing a viable operation? Raising a family and instilling good work ethic? Promoting good practices and environmentally sound management? Preparing the next generation to lead and being a good teacher? Or all of the above? Until next time, I'm Kevin Spafford, helping you to